Acorders Strategy Social. I'm Kaylee Olceda. We have Neha here. We want to give Mike Peterson the opportunity to come forward and introduce himself with us today.
Well, thank you so much for having me here. It certainly is a pleasure to be with you, and I'm excited to see the things that you're doing, the things that you're accomplishing. So just a little bit of background, I have the opportunity to teach in the business school at the University of Texas at Austin. I teach entrepreneurship in both graduate and undergraduate courses, and it's my dream job. So incredible opportunity. I'm also an entrepreneur. I've had the opportunity to start 9 different startups over the course of my career and have a background in sales and marketing, as well as I had the opportunity to run a division for a number of years. So I love to read and love to learn and love to be a part of change and to see transitions happen. So I'm excited to be a part of this project as well.
Thank you. And in Acorders, we talk about glide paths that we perceive with orbital forces around us. And so we want to make it clear that this is the Acorders campaign glide path with the learning initiative. So Acorders learning, here we go. So I want to get right to the point with you there. I felt like the most impactful moment coming through this workshop with you, Mike, was making that connection between your childhood fable, the ant and the grasshopper, and then how you've actually enacted out your personal strategy in the world as an entrepreneur. Any feedback or any comments that you can make there for us on that experience?
Yeah, so one of the things that was really valuable during the workshop and during our conversation was just being able to make connections from my past to the way that those things have changed, influenced who I am, as well as helped me to grow and develop over the course of my life. And so that that connection was an aha moment to look back and go, hey, this is something that, this story that I had heard as a little kid. And I grew up without a television. I didn't tell you this, but grew up without a television. And so books were a huge part of my life.
So one theme that's pretty consistent with Acorders is we're really encouraging people to see the value and celebrate their human to human connections. And so the idea of a knowledge network acting in your life as early as your youth and then coming through and bringing value into your present day. Did you pick up on that in the experience of the workshop, and what value did you see there in that?
So one of the things that is really key in our lives is other people. There is no such thing as a self-made man or self-made woman. We just are totally dependent upon other people. Now, we've got to do our part, right? We've got to get up and work hard and develop ourselves and do our part. But having other people and connecting with other people is really
Something
impactful. And
nice,
so
Mike.
as we
At Acorders, we really appreciate the power of having a strategy buddy, right? With whom you discuss all your life strategies related to your career, related to your personal lives, everything. So, and talking about human connections here, as you rightly mentioned, do you have a strategy buddy for yourself with whom you try to, you know, express your thoughts, discuss your strategies for growth, for success, for each and everything in your life?
Deep question, tough question. So, do I have a strategy? Probably don't have a really well-formed, written out one at this point, but one of the things that I am in the process of developing is a website
Mhm.
where I can share ideas with other people, and specifically around entrepreneurship. And so my goal with that website is to share ideas with other people, connect with other people, and by creating and sharing that voice, also have the opportunity for me to develop my own ideas better and to be able to hopefully help other people to be successful in their own career path or their own entrepreneurship paths.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
see.
Speaking about mission and goals again, Mike here, you mentioned during the workshop that your mission is to eliminate poverty, right? So, what are some of the strategies that you are thinking in your mind at this point, and how are you trying to draw that path forward?
Yeah, so I've been incredibly blessed. There's no question. I was born in the United States. I have
Yeah.
an incredible family, uh, amazing gifts, opportunities for education, and just I'm very grateful for that. And so I do believe that because I have opportunities, been given opportunities, that I also have an increased obligation and opportunity to give back to other people. So one of the ways that I've been able to do that is as a professor and be able to impact the current generation of entrepreneurs, people with incredible ideas, hungry to make a change and a difference. And one of the things I love about my students, and especially the younger, my undergrad students, but it extends across all the way, but just this real sense of making a change in the world, an impact on the world for good. And I get to be a very small piece of that, and it's just incredible to see that. And so I want to expand that. My goal is to expand that, so not just to the several hundred students that I come in contact with over the course of a year, but expand that out further and leveraging the power of the internet, the power of social media platforms to be able to share some of the ideas that have helped me to be successful in some of my entrepreneurial endeavors, and to push those things along that hopefully other people can also benefit from. And the end goal is to help eliminate poverty, just totally get it off the planet, so that everybody can have opportunities for education, opportunities to provide for their families, opportunities to thrive and learn and grow. And I believe that that will make our world a better place.
The most beautiful thing, Mike, that you mentioned during the workshop was the rewards part. And would you like to expand on that thought a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, as I mentioned in the workshop, so I grew up pouring concrete, and the great thing about that is it's hard work, and but you have instant feedback on how you did. You can see the work.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
my dad is a perfectionist. He's a craftsman, and he insisted on the highest quality work. The challenge with teaching, in contrast, is that there isn't immediate feedback. In fact, honestly, sometimes the immediate feedback is pretty negative. It's like, I'm a bit of an acquired taste, and folks are like, oh, I don't know about Mike. But the rewards definitely come. They just come a little bit later when some of the lessons, some of the things that I've taught, and then they actually apply them, go, wait a second, that Mike guy wasn't as crazy as we thought,
Yeah.
and actually had some good ideas that have been able to help. And so then to see those come into practice in their own lives and application of the change that's made. And it's been long enough that I've had students come back and express the difference that it's made for them, even if they didn't see eye to eye with me in my class. It's been really rewarding to see the success they've been able to have in their own lives. So.
So one of the things that we're putting forward here with our social campaign is we're really looking at how we can help people find their matches in their working tribes. And so I just wanted to ask you candidly here, do you see the mechanics of our prompt being able to support and enhance people's ability to come together for meaningful work, being able to push back some of the superficiality that comes into play with first impressions, for instance?
Yeah, I think where that comes into play is the opportunity to get clarity around who it is you are personally and some of the things that you value. And so going through the workshop now, candidly, I don't know if an hour is enough time for that. It seems like that there's a need for a lot deeper work, and to keep that process going. And I think you would agree. But at the same time, a clear understanding of who you are, what it is that you value, and then a communication, be it the opportunity to communicate that to other people. That's when I think you'll start to build a sense of community around those ideas and around the shared purpose, the shared goal, if you will, and then that will open up that door for the community forum and then move forward. So.
Yeah, great.
Is your long-term vision? What is your personal vision that, okay, I'm in this industry and I want to make things better for my students, for my institute, for this world, right? So this energy is also this transition in the education system, which is powered by, let's say, digital transformation. Let's say we are adding more digitalized learning platforms these days.
Yeah.
So how do you visualize this change, and what are your personal strategies for, making fitting yourself in the best way in the system, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah, Nihar, great question. So one of the things that I believe that really needs to change is in fact our education system, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And number one, it is incredibly expensive right
yeah,
now.
yeah,
And specifically around getting from, kindergarten through 16th grade, right? I mean, there's a lot of cost looking collectively as a whole across the world. There's a lot of cost associated from getting from that point. And so I think that having the digital opportunities, I think that COVID has accelerated that, where we can, I literally in a single class, I can manage in a class about 50, 70 people on a good day, right? But to really have a good, robust discussion, probably around 40 is a little bit better of a sweet spot. And that is not scalable. In contrast, if I can create something where I put some, do a video recording, for example, right? Do a video recording, maybe they're short 20-minute segments, maybe I have a sequence of them and put that out on the internet. People can access that at any time. They can do it after work. They can do it early in the morning before their kids get out of bed. More opportunity for folks to access quality education with online tools and digital platforms, I think can really open up opportunity for people, can expand the knowledge base, and can help accelerate the growth that can happen. I think it can be better for us financially. Education is one of the great democratizers of the world. Education allows people to understand the world around them better and to be able to grow and accomplish greater things, to build, to innovate, to help people. And that should be available now, not free, like not a giveaway. Like this needs to be available at an affordable cost to everybody, is my
very
personal
true,
belief on that.
very true.
So I've been tracking a lot of activity with startups recently that are going into coaching as a product solution, and I look at it from the aspect of the attention economy and just some of the. I'm also kind of cascading now and looking over some other profit models that I see out there that are not necessarily delivering the good or the value that they claim. And I see a lot of that distortion at play around the learning market. And I'd like your take on and feedback on that, and how to navigate through and be like really impactful in that space and try to innovate on those profit models.
Yeah, I mean, so that's the challenge that we all have, right? Is that there is still a lot of available information, and there are a whole bunch of people, and maybe they've got some crafty, clever marketing campaign built around it, that are saying, hey, come over here and I've got the answers for whatever. And I'm part of that, right? In a sense, I'm part of that. So I think the challenge or the opportunity here is to spend some time looking at the results of what people have been actually able to accomplish, and results in their own lives. That has some validity, but also results in the lives of the people that they're teaching. And and I think that you've got a chicken and egg problem of timing if someone's just getting started, but it will open up the door for you to make a better assessment about the kind of impact and the kind of change that you need. Um, there's a challenge with, let's take a free online program, for example. Content could be fantastic, could be world class. The challenge is that we as learners, we as humans, sometimes are a little bit lazy, right? And so having a little bit of structure to help hold us accountable, help us to answer questions, maybe even a community to help rally, encourage us when we're struggling, whatever the case may be. And this is, I'm not unpacking a new model here for you. This is obviously old, but just some of those elements I really believe make a difference. And for whatever its failings, one of the benefits of going to a university setting is that you've got a semester that you have locked in, that you have to meet specific deadlines and requirements in order to finish it. And for better for worse, maybe you get a C, maybe you get an A, but guess what? You finished, right? And
Yeah, yeah,
your degree, at the end of the day is similar to the next person. And so, the goal is to get as much learning the learning process, but also be able to move through that. So there's still value in it. And whatever that is, I think that there are other ways besides a university to be able to create that accountability, that sense of community, and just some basic deadlines to get you through the process so that you're not just spinning your wheels.
I agree. Yeah. Mike, we talked about the system, right? How we need some cost modifications overall and how it is impacting, how it will impact our lives. Understanding from students' perspective, what are some like really basic foundational advice that you would like to give to the fellow students and overall the learners community basically to thrive through this overall transition mode that we are facing in the education system or the overall education industry at this point?
Um, so my answer to that is to challenge yourself, learn the process of learning, fall in love with learning,
Yeah.
get curious about things, and find things that are interesting to you, because it'll make that journey much more relevant. And don't be afraid to fail. So, not proud of this, but when I was making decisions about what to major in, for my undergrad, I chose the path of least resistance, communications,
Mhm.
because it did not require calculus. So I regret that decision, not because of the major, but because of the reason that it was more of an avoidance thing, right? And so that's part of what I would encourage, is to just jump in and don't get so wrapped up. I mean, one of the things is my students are really worried about grades, and they're important, and I'm right there with them, worrying about their grades with them. But the reality is, if you can get past the grade, whatever that is, whatever the context is, and learn the tools, learn the process, then it doesn't matter. That's the test that matters, is how you apply that information and how you're able to benefit your own life and how you're able to help other people with the things that you're learning.
Yeah, as
Absolutely.
a student, I can give feedback there too, in that like I came through an experience with you with MSTC and Neha, like it's a 1-year program. And I saw people with different strategies going through the program. You had I'm here to be the top grad of the program. And then you had people who were like, no, I'm really here to just deconstruct every aspect of any content that I come into, contact with. And I'm going to experiment the heck out of this experience. And I feel like I was more part of that latter, approach.
Yeah, I don't think I ever in my life concentrated on grades. Okay, I just apply the strategy of go with the flow and enjoy the learning process. And meanwhile, I think when I was learning, I was in the technical school at that time. Obviously, this approach did not work a lot, right? In B school, I think it is a very organic learning process. We enjoy a lot of things that we do in the which are in the curriculum, but at tech school, I think it is not a right strategy. So I think it totally depends on which stream you are into, which kind of program you're learning. So yeah, I think that is very important to understand that which strategy you would implement in which category of your curriculum or studies. Yeah.
So you've had the benefit of a number of years experience now working with students at both the master's level and the undergraduate level. And so you've seen both of those strategies playing out in the learning environment. In regards to relationships, have you seen a real impactful, outcome regarding the choice there on how to approach that learning experience?
Yeah, 100%. And I think that the way to look at that is if you are focused on learning and helping other people in that learning process, which helps you. I mean, trust me. If you go teach something, you're going to understand it better than if you just sit in a classroom and try and absorb it. And if you have that focus of trying to help as many people as you can or bring your team along with you, chances are your grades are going to be better. So,
Yeah.
I mean, let's just take that off the table. I mean, high probability that you're just going to do better. But more than anything, you're going to come out with deeper relationships. And as we already discussed in our conversation, those relationships are the things that are going to carry you to your next opportunity, whatever that is, or even just make your life richer,
Right.
right? Just because you have great people in your life that you can bounce ideas off of, that you can just connect with and talk with. I mean, you may never do a deal with the people that you went to school with or the people that you meet around, but just having them in your life makes your life that much richer. And if you're the type of person that's adding value to other people, you're the kind of person that people want to have around, and it will just pay huge dividends for you down the road.
Yeah, well
Gotcha.
said. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I did mean to comment early on in the interview here regarding the problem set that the Ecuador Social Campaign is looking at. What we see is a great human domain shift that will be unfolding and changing our relationship with work as we move forward here through COVID-19 recovery, and we face some of these other really big innovations that are going to be coming on in the future. And so I just wanted to start wrapping up with you today by kind of bringing that problem forward here for a moment. You wrote a really impactful piece that you posted up on LinkedIn not too long ago regarding any entrepreneur's journey with a problem, and how so many of us rush through that phase of any type of endeavor to start up. And I just want to start asking you now in regards to how we're bringing forward some mechanics here around, laying forward this prompt. Do you see elements of this really helping look at that a little different?
Yeah, I think related to our conversation today and what the statement just a few minutes ago, that if you have that lens, that viewpoint of how can I help other people, then you're naturally going to see some of those opportunities to solve problems. And if you're the kind of person that can solve a big problem for enough people, wow, that's going to feel really amazing. And by the way, you'll probably be fabulously wealthy, or you'll have a lot of money to give away to charity, whatever your flavor is. So, and it's
Because initially, I think the human like the natural human response is to really be thinking about the problem in relation to yourself, right? Rather
sure.
than the problem in relationship to the broader lens.
Yeah, we make this assumption, this false assumption, really, that, oh, because I have this problem, I don't have any hair. I have this big problem because I don't have any hair, that everybody must have this same problem. And so I should come up with a solution to solve for everybody else. Well, using a ridiculous example, the reality is that oftentimes we come up with stuff that nobody cares about. And we end up spending a lot of time on it that, that's better use in other ways, where if we genuinely are out there serving people, we'll come up with some different things that'll be a huge benefit.
Yeah. When we're putting forward this problem set, it's a really big one. And the thing that I really drew on in how to look at it was the experience that we had at MSTC, going through that business model canvassing, going through the voice of the customer and that customer journey. What I realize is that not everybody experiences a problem the same way, even if it is the same problem that everyone is facing. And so
Good
that's
point.
one of the things that we're really trying to dig in a social campaign. People have challenged us already on this. Like, why are you guys doing a social campaign?
Yeah.
Because nobody's interested in the problem in a startup, actually. By that point, you're supposed to already have a really clear understanding of what the problem is. And the social campaign is our best vehicle to really get to pick apart those different experiences with the problem.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, Neha, I know you have a comment to follow on that one.
No, I just wanted to say that this world needs a lot of motivators like Mike, a lot of people who have that entrepreneurship kind of mindset and who are still ready to share the knowledge and perspectives with students or the fellow colleagues, or because there are a lot of people in this world, I think, who are striving to walk that path of entrepreneurship, but there is a lack of guidance, there is a lack of proper skill set that I think sitting in the MSTC classes, and especially sitting all the time with Mike, and I think I always appreciated how he made us speak in the process, right? Or how he made us think on different perspectives. So I just wanted to appreciate that. And I think I really want to thank Mike for being here with us, because the same things that we learned through this entire year, I think at least some part of it we got to discuss today with him, and that will go a long, long way.
Oh, thank you, Neha. I appreciate that.
I second a lot of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I mean, in regards to just finaling out on the concept of a knowledge network, we consider you part of our knowledge network. We're very proud to consider you an orchestrator in this campaign with us at this point with your contribution this afternoon. And we look forward to continuing to have conversations and dialogue with you as the campaign progresses.
Awesome. Well, thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to be here, and I'm really excited for the work that you both are doing. And it's one of the payoffs that I get to see your success. So I'm really grateful to be able to see that, and it really is a privilege to know you both.
Thank you.
Very thankful, Mike. Thank you so much for your time today.
You're welcome. Thank you.